Hello, it's a Tuesday morning. My name is Benedict Owusu. It feels good to be back to share your company this morning. And today, we'll look at the UEFA Champions League, the matches that will be played later tonight. As many as 8 games will be played. Already, some teams have progressed to the next stage of the competition. The likes of Liverpool will be hoping to book their qualification to the round of 16 of the competition. Tonight, they will be at Anfield, where they will have a home game, and we'll take you through the fixtures later. But we also have to look at the other stories. And first, we have to look at the BBC Africa Footballer of the Year award. If you remember very well, somewhere last month, the nominees for this year's award were released by the BBC. Peter Okwoche and also Mimi Fawaz presented a live program to mention or to announce the nominees. So the nominees for this year's BBC African Footballer of the Year, we have Mohamed Salah, who plays his club football for Liverpool and also with Egypt. What a tremendous or phenomenal season he's having at both club and country. For Liverpool, he's the highest top scorer of the English Premier League so far with 12 goals, and was the man who single-handedly qualified Egypt for the 2018 World Cup. He's one of the nominees. Also, we have Riyad Mahrez of Leicester City. He plays, he's from Algeria. And there is Sadio Mane, who also plays his club football for Liverpool and with Senegal. They've also qualified for the World Cup, as well as Naby Keita of Leipzig. He's a Liverpool player, but he's still with Leipzig. He is from Mali. And then, so these are the players that have been. And then Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, who plays his club football for Borussia Dortmund and from Gabon. So fans and players, the award actually is based on fans voting. So if you want your man to win or whoever that you feel is doing very well under the year, the year under review, then you have to vote. You go onto the BBC website and vote for the player. Well, Peter Okwoche, as I mentioned, he was the main man. He announced the nominees for this year's awards. Yesterday, he was in our studios at Joy 99.7 FM, and he gave some dynamics and explained why the BBC African Footballer of the Year is really voted by fans and what people actually say about the BBC African Footballer of the Year award.
Gary, I mean, I've had the honor and the pleasure of handing out this trophy to the past 4 or 5 winners.
Yeah.
And from Yacine Brahimi, Algeria's Yacine Brahimi, to Yaya Toure twice, and Riyad Mahrez, who is the current holder last year. I mean, they have all told me, you know, the question I always ask them is, why is it that winning this award is so important to you guys? And as you mentioned, they say it's because it's the only award of its kind. It's voted for by the fans, you know, who are actually, outside the players, the most important factor in football. So if the fans who we are trying to entertain vote for me as the best player on the continent, you know, I mean, it's got to make it makes you feel good. I mean, I remember handing it to Yaya Toure a few years ago, and I gave it to him at the Manchester City training ground, and all his teammates were so happy for him. You know, Kun Aguero, all of them, they were, you know, driving past and hooting their horns, and because it just makes you just realize that I'm actually playing with one of the best footballers on the planet.
So that was BBC journalist Peter Okwoche in our studio yesterday with Gary Smith on the Joy Sports track. We still stay with Peter Okwoche. He's a Nigerian. I know Nigeria will participate at next year's World Cup. What a group they find themselves. They are in the same group with the likes of Argentina, Iceland, and one other team. And, you know, almost every time that they've been at the World Cup, they either get to play Argentina or international friendlies. The last time they played against Argentina, they won that game by 4-2. Well, Peter Okwoche has been speaking about Nigeria's preparations ahead of the tournament. Most importantly, or specifically, about what the Nigerian FA has done. They've been able to reach an agreement with the players over their bonuses before the World Cup.
Well, if I heard Amaju Pinnick, who's the president of the Nigerian Football Federation, properly, I mean, what he's saying is that it's not a contract per se. We've reached an agreement, we've reached a settlement with these boys that we know we have a schedule that they'll be paid all their monies as at when due. Nobody's going to be owed anything. I mean, you remember 2014, woke up one morning in Brazil only to hear that Ghana players were threatening to boycott a match, and Nigeria were boycotting training. You can't take this attitude into a World Cup if you want to win, or those kind of preparations into a World Cup if you want to be taken seriously. And then what happens? You become the laughing stock. You've missed 2 or 3 training sessions where Brazil, Sweden, Germany have been training, and you get on the pitch with them and you say you want to beat them. It's almost impossible. So I think it's good to get all these things clear right now. let's all go there with a footballing mind, a footballing spirit, knowing that, listen, we can do the business. I was telling somebody today that a lot of the countries take African teams for granted.
Yeah.
You know, let's use that to our advantage, you know, and shock a few people. And, you know, there's no reason why we can't get 2 teams into the quarterfinals or even into the semis.
So away from that, we have today the UEFA Champions League, and tonight I made mention of the number of matches that will be played later, as many as 8 matches. And obviously the top lineup will be in Germany, where Bayern Munich will come up against the sharp attacking front of Paris Saint-Germain. Well, Bayern Munich have been on some amazing form since Jupp Heynckes took over after that disastrous start to their season under Carlo Ancelotti. So week in, week out, they've been winning their matches both in the UEFA Champions League as well as the German Bundesliga. And we all know the story about Paris Saint-Germain, how they are dazzling this season with Neymar, Mbappe, Edinson, Cavani, Pastore, and all those great players they have. And tonight, we expect to see fireworks at the Allianz Arena. So tonight at the Allianz Arena, we're going to have Bayern Munich, Paris Saint-Germain. What a game we will be anticipating later tonight. Great game by all standards will be. And Karabakh are out of the UEFA Champions League. There's no way they can qualify even if they beat AS Roma later tonight. So Karabakh, AS Roma also later tonight. So we'll check matches to expect in the UEFA Champions League on your screen. Manchester United, CSKA Moscow. It's happening at Old Trafford, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic as well as Nemanja Matic will not play in that game, but Romelu will be in post for United tonight. Also, Roma Karabakh, yes, or preview of that game. Olympiacos Juventus happening tonight, and Bayern Munich Paris Saint-Germain top lineup later tonight. Chelsea Atletico Madrid will be at Stamford Bridge, and we'll have Celtic Anderlecht with Barcelona also coming up against Sporting. Barca have already secured a place in the next stage of the UEFA Champions League, and Benfica will come up against Basel. So that's how we end sports this morning. I'm Benedict Tosi. Thanks so much for your company. If you want to read more sports stories, get to the Enjoy online sports page, and also follow us on Twitter. You find us at Joy Sports GH. On Facebook, we are Joy Sports. Have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, God willing, we are back with highlights of the matches that we play later tonight, and also we'll look ahead to matches that will be played tomorrow evening. Enjoy your day.